Simply Bitcoin Live. We're your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover breaking news, culture, matic warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of money and state. And make no mistake, that's exactly what we are living through these days. Anyways, very interesting. Over the weekend, Adam Back, who was cited in the original Bitcoin white paper, made a bet with our boy Vikingo. Stay solvent, everybody. If you know, you know. And the bet was that Bitcoin, Adam Back bet Vikingo that Bitcoin was going to hit $100,000 by March 31st, 2024. But there was a reason that he originally quote tweeted an article, and it explained what his reasoning was behind making that bet. So I think that's really interesting. We're going to break all of that down today. Also on the Tether front, their lawsuit in New York, the lawsuit originally claimed that Tether was not backed one-to-one by the dollar and whatnot. That was dismissed. The judge kind of just threw it out. So find that interesting. That Tether FUD was a huge deal. And I think it was like 2017, 2018. There was this massive account called Bitfinex. And it's interesting because when all these blowups started to happen, it was USDC that was affected more than Tether, right? And USDC was the one that was supposedly regulated because it was by Coinbase, and it was supposed to be the safer bet. So it's just funny how that plays out. And then, if anyone who's not in the know, Tether plays a massive role in the entire ecosystem. It's used to trade on a lot of these, altcoin exchanges overseas, and so Tether plays this like weird type of role in Bitcoin. So it's just interesting how that played out. And of course, obviously, Tether's not a fan of the U.S. government. The U.S. government is not a fan of stablecoins. Obviously, they want to be the stablecoin. That's why they launched, I suspect, the Fed now, the first iteration of the American central bank digital currency. So I think a lot of people are going to learn over time that you will only find financial sovereignty in Bitcoin. Anything that is centralized, meaning everything other than Bitcoin, I think will inevitably be co-opted by government. So I know that's very popular. Stablecoins are very popular overseas in countries that are going through high inflation. But I think it's just a matter of time before they kind of wake up to the reality of Bitcoin and stuff. So anyways, before we start the show, I want to bring up my legendary co-host, always optimistic. Dude, what do you think of the new intro? Shout out to Daft, by the way. I kind of messed it up with leaving the thumbnail up, but tomorrow I'll nail it. But I like it. I like it. You guys requested a change up, so we heard you. And
dude, it feels official, Nico. It feels like we are back. We've always been back, but now we're officially back, and we're professionals here on the stream. We got an intro, bro. If that didn't get you vibed up, I don't know what did. But man, let's go. It's Monday. We're back for the grind. We're back to give you guys content, keep you guys up to date on the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. I'm hyped, Nico, and I think I only drank 2 cups of coffee this morning, so maybe it's just yelling in everyone's ears on Twitter Spaces that gets me hyped in the morning. But I'm excited for this one. Anyways, we do have a guest today on our culture. Bring him in, Nico. Or should I? Yeah, we got Shaw from Noah.com talking about Bitcoin payments, all that good stuff that they're working on. So this is going to be a good episode. How you doing, Shaw?
Good. How are you guys? Glad to be here on the show.
Wonderful, bro. Wonderful.
Yeah, man. Super excited to have you on the show. And with Bitcoin payments, I feel like that's not enough of a... Like that's so vague.
Yeah, I mean, so we started like Noah around 2 years ago. We saw that there is a need for. I mean, of course, there's a lot of Bitcoin wallets out there, but what we are really solving here is the intersection of the on and off ramps. We believe that yes, it's good to have Bitcoin, but to make Bitcoin really usable, you have to enable users to cash out very quickly. Right now, we are live with the cards on ramp, so you can globally at very competitive rate buy Bitcoin, Apple Pay, Google Pay, MasterCard, Visa card, but also pay out into your Visa card and MasterCard globally. So let's say, you're about to go on your holidays. Of course, you should never sell your Bitcoin, but who knows? Like, most people are probably living in a Bitcoin first world where they hold most of their assets in Bitcoin, but it's kind of a friction to kind of cash it out in short term. So within a day, you put it on your Visa, MasterCard, and it's topped up, and then you just go out and spend it. So that's right now. Soon, in 2 or 3 weeks, we will have global off-ramp: USD, GBP, Euro, Nigerian currency, anything you want. So we've been working hard, quite behind the scenes. But I think by payment, I really mean how we make the on and off ramp so seamless that it's almost like no friction.
That's
wait,
really
wait.
cool.
Before we go though, is Noah a reference to Noah's Ark?
Correct. Yeah. So the initial idea was, when you want to build a really big consumer brand, like look at the big companies like Coca-Cola, Zara, I don't know, Mango, you have to have a name that is globally recognizable. And I think, we just brainstorming. And normally when you start a company, you have like 5 top names. But with this one, it was just like, it has to be Noah, right? Because it is a name that's basically transcends every religion. So in Christianity, in Islam, as well as Judaism, it is the same story. It's the only story that combines them all, showing that these religions are all basically all the same. We're all the same. There's no borders really, only the borders that we put between us. And also it has to do with helping people. So like the flood is coming, and we're building the ark to save everyone from the flood. And there's so many other meanings, but most importantly, and I always say, unlike the other ark, this ark has space for everyone, not just a pair of animals. So I think there were so many aspects that I had to name it Noah, and thereafter we also went to get the domains, because I think it's very important to make it very simple so people understand.
Very, very cool, man. Well, that's awesome. And yeah, that domain is huge, noah.com. I think that's a big statement. But yeah, man, I'm super, super excited. Love having Bitcoin entrepreneurs here, pushing mass adoption worldwide. But anyways, guys, no more delay. Let's jump straight into the show today. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to cover. Let's check it out.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase really secure? Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed. All right, guys, and you could scan the QR code on your screen right now, and it'll take you directly to the Stamp Seed website. Get yourself a titanium seed phrase storage kit. Properly secure your generational wealth so that you don't have to explain it to your grandchildren why you lost it because you decided to store it on paper. Store it on titanium. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is 28,865 sats per dollar, 3,464. Block height 801, 952,000. Blocks the halving 38,048. Halving estimate April 20th, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity 4,692 Bitcoin. Capacity value 135 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation 1.76%. The market capitalization is $561 billion with a B. Bitcoin versus gold market cap 4.31%. And that is just getting started. Anyways, today I want to talk about this. Over the weekend or last week, YouTube terminated / purged 3 Bitcoin channels in just 48 hours. Max Kaiser and Stacy Herbert's channel was purged of hundreds of hours of Bitcoin content. Max and Stacy were leading the charge. They were some of the first content creators to tell people to buy Bitcoin. They're telling people to buy Bitcoin, I think, less than $100, right? They've been here a very, very long time. What's interesting, though, is that they didn't totally nuke their channel. They just got rid of some of the anti-establishment, content, which is very interesting. However, there is two other Bitcoin content creators that did get affected. Crypto News, yes, had his channel closed without warning. Decision is final. And Plaman Andov, I totally pronounced that incorrectly. He is a content creator from Bulgaria, and he's the organizer of the Bulgarian Bitcoin conference, and he had his channel shut down without warning, and the decision is final. So that being said, you can always find our content on Rumble. You can always find our content on Twitter, and you can always find our content on your favorite podcasting platform, in case YouTube continues to censor Bitcoin only content. This happened recently to the Swan channel. Luckily, we got it reinstated. But yeah, it's very scary that you spend years building up these these channels, these followings, and then overnight, because of an algorithm or because one of your haters or whatever the reason is, YouTube just decides to pull down the channel. That's kind of scary, to be honest. As a content creator, as content creators, it's very scary that we live in this world. But that's why there's alternatives like Rumble. That's why there's alternatives like Twitter, which it looks like they're a lot more friendly to differing opinions. And but let's see how this turns out. Speaking of censorship, here is Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage, we covered this about a couple, I think it was like a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, where he was talking about how he was debanked. It seems like here in this specific video, it's about 4 minutes long. It's a bit too long to play for you guys, but he was talking about how a specific bank, NatWest, limiting cash withdrawals and deposits, pushing for a cashless society and personal carbon limits. So very scary stuff, but you could say, oh, that's a politician saying politician stuff. But here is here's a video of from Australia News, and it looks like what I said is they're trying to get rid of the exit. And the reason I use that word exit was because that is the word that Opti's ex-girlfriend used, who is currently the head of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde. She said if there's an escape valve, people will use it. So that's why I called it an exit. And Stefan Livera, who's originally from Australia, said, if you support freedom, support the cash economy and use cash. And then I responded to him, looks like they're trying to get rid of that exit as well. Here is a clip from AustralianNews.com. Sky News in Australia. Let's check it out.
Nico, I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Here is a clip from Sky News Australia, and they're basically following up with what Nigel Farage was saying. So let's check it out.
Australia is slowly shifting towards being cash-free. More than $1 billion worth of notes have disappeared from circulation in the past 12 months. It follows the Commonwealth Bank's decision to start trialling cashless branches across Sydney. Economists say a cashless society will hurt criminals on the black market, but will make life more difficult for the elderly who rely on notes and coins. Australia is
so like it's just a very interesting like narrative, right? It's like, oh, it's just gonna hurt the elderly who are just used to cash and coins. But guys, keep in mind it's gonna hurt criminals as well. Let's completely ignore all the debanking that has been happening, whether it was in Canada with the truckers' protests. Let's completely ignore what's happened to Nigel. Let's completely ignore what's happened in the U.S., to be frank, right? It's happened to Bitcoin companies. They've gotten rug pulled by their banks. Let's completely ignore what the unintended consequences of a cashless society will be. Let's completely ignore the politicians with their rhetoric, talking about all these plans, all these grand plans that they want to do. And I think a cashless society will enable them. It will allow them, specifically central bank digital currencies. So I say this all the time. I say this, look, I say Bitcoin or slavery. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that. I truly, truly mean it. You either have to choose Bitcoin or you choose a state money, and then, all the things that come with the state money. Anyways, I think Beautyon is the co-founder of Asteco. he quote tweeted this Nigel Farage clip. And I think what Beautyon said is on point. And I completely agree with him, because at the end of the day, like, you can complain about, oh, this cashless society. You can complain about being debanked. But now you actually have a solution. That solution is Bitcoin. If you're still complaining, but you're still trying to fight the system within the system, it's I think Beautyon summarizes it perfectly. So he says, if your house is on fire and you stood in front of it, what do you want your neighbors to do? Raise the alarm, call the fire department? Bitcoin is the fire department that will put out the fire of fiat. If you don't grab the hose and help douse the population, whose side are you on, really? Are you really helping? The state has the population so brainwashed, it has them braying like sheep, fighting to keep fraudulent money that steals from them in their pockets. The delicious, I can't even pronounce that word.
Schadenfreude.
How do you know that, Opti? I don't know. This delicious Schadenfreude of this cannot be lost on the elites, who quite rightly hold the public in absolute contempt. Poor Nigel doesn't understand that it is not the elimination of cash that is the threat. The real threat is the nature of fiat cash issued by central banks that is already universally accepted as good and proper money. It doesn't matter if the fraudulent paper money ceases to exist, as long as Bitcoin is there to completely replace it. Bitcoin is much better than any paper fiat money in circulation, and the quote elimination of cash threat that people are whining about is in fact the biggest opportunity to replace the fraudulent system with an honest one. But that's 4D chess of the kind Nigel, GB News, and others can't play. So I'm sure he's referring to other influencers. But yeah, we have a solution to this. That solution is Bitcoin. It's just interesting that, not that many people, like, they complain, they identify the problem, but they don't actually use the solution to the problem, which I find interesting. But I think I guess that falls down to us. I guess it falls to Bitcoin entrepreneurs like yourself, Shah. So Shah, what's your take on all this, man? Because I know that your company works within the traditional financial system as well. So what's your take on this?
So, I mean, the cashless society has been ongoing for a while now. So I think like, for example, in the UK, why is there no bigger bill than the £50 bill? Like, it's kind of ridiculous. After all this inflation that the UK had, you still have, the largest bill is £50, bill, which is like worth $70. Same with the US, right? So in India, there's the same. They're trying to get people off cash as more and more their economy and their banks are moving to digital. They're trying to push through digital, and they're kind of using it. But when technology is enabled for one side, like let's say the government, there's also breathing ground for the other side. So I think that's what happened with Bitcoin, whereby the internet came, everything got digitized, but it also got digitized for the people who want to live a free life. So I do think that of course you're right. Like, governments have been trying this for a while, and they're doing it. I think right now the country with the largest bill is Switzerland. Like 1,000 Swiss franc is like worth maybe $1,000, I think. Which is we can like walk with like $1 million in a quite a compact format. But yeah, I think I think the future is Bitcoin. Of course, we are a regulated company. We do KYC. I think our role is to help with the transition. It is hard to jump from one side to another without like a transitionary period. I think where Noah comes in is like making it kind of a Trojan horse, whereby we slowly adopt, Bitcoin, and then eventually it just accelerates in growth. So we're just like answering question. We're in an intermediary period where we help with the transition to move slowly to Bitcoin or faster as fast as we can. But there is a natural, as Warren Buffett said, you can't get get a baby in under 9 months by making nine women pregnant. So certain things take time, and if you look at in historical, in the past, any money transformation took many decades, right? So I think it's just very normal that, of course, we want it to happen faster, but the infrastructure is lacking, right? The on and off ramps, the acceptance. So I think that's where we are taking part of. Yeah.
Awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Opti, what's your take on this, bro?
Yeah, well, first, love Beautyon's perspectives on things, and this is what it means to be a Bitcoiner, to build the products that make CBDCs obsolete. As I always said, spread the freedom tools so that people download wallets personally, so that they're holding their own keys, so that they know not your keys, not your Bitcoin. The most important thing that we can be doing is using these examples to have more and more people holding Bitcoin personally. And that Nigel video, we didn't play it, but this whole campaign by Nigel Farage, I personally don't know him too well. All I've really seen is him on Twitter. And it just seems like so defeatist. Like, oh, I got kicked off my bank. Like, boohoo, woe is me. Like, this is the abuse that, is part of this system. And it's like, why are we taking this abuse? Like, where is the calls of actions to download Bitcoin? Where is he like, yo, I'm all in on Bitcoin. They can't do this to me. Bitcoin is censorship resistant money. And this is like, Bitcoin literally fixes this. But I think this is just part of the process, kind of like Shaw was saying. We still are early in this Bitcoin game. I know my Bitcoin cynical friends will try to argue otherwise, but again, I have simple experiments. Go outside and talk to a normal person, and it's either they don't fully understand Bitcoin or they're just apathetic. And it's just a very interesting line that we find ourselves in. There's people that simply want to keep themselves in the dark and just avoid any responsibility, and that's just something we're going to have to deal with. But there are people out there that are seeing the problems and searching for solutions, and this is why we always tell you guys to spread that signal and try to do your best to wake up at least a few people out there, because we are seeing this very dangerous trend towards a more authoritarian, tyrannical, cashless society. And again, it's all about control. But as Beautyon is saying, this will strive and affect Bitcoin, because I fundamentally believe if people can see the problem clearly, Bitcoin or slavery, people will always choose Bitcoin. People will choose a money that doesn't rob for them. People will choose a money that can't be censored, that they can buy whatever they want, and it will make their lives more prosperous. Like, I am fully convinced of this. This is why it is so important to fight back against the $1 trillion PSYOP campaign that is unleashed on Bitcoin. As we saw in the beginning with the YouTube bans, like, this is the then they fight you stage. It starts very, very innocent, and then it ramps up. And, right now we're still in that early stages where like Bitcoin seems fringe and dangerous and all that good stuff. And then it moves towards what we already know the low-hanging fruit excuses will be. Like, it's for criminals, it's for money laundering. They're already using it. They just haven't ramped up the machine yet. But something interesting, Nico, and I don't know if you saw this, but this isn't just happening like in Australia. And I know personally that just seems so far away. It's on the other side of the world. It's like there's a disassociation with it. But I saw over on Twitter over the weekend that Whole Foods is unrolling like a palm reader payment app. And even in that framing, you can see that the girl is like so excited. She's like, man, this is so cool.
This is so convenient.
Yeah, this is so convenient. This is so cool. And all of us are sitting here like, oh my God, like, this is terrifying. How are you trying to make this sexy and cool? Like this, avoid the mark of the beast and saving Bitcoin. Like, geez, I know I'm going hard, but like, man, this is the stuff that really terrifies me, because they make it seem so innocent, so cool. Like, this is for your betterment. This is for, just to make your life so much easier. And it's just so nefarious. And as a Bitcoiner, we just understand the framing here where it's like, look, Bitcoin will improve your life. And yeah, right now it might be a little clunkier than your Visa debit card, but it's worth it. And this will make your life better. And until more people wake up to this, we got an uphill battle as Bitcoin entrepreneurs, as Bitcoin propagandists, Bitcoin talking heads. But this is part of the fun. This is why you guys are early and on the front lines. This is why we're here, is to spread this signal and to combat the corporate press and all the crazy nefarious lies that you see out there that are trying to psyop you.
100%. So go ahead, Shaw.
No, I think it's also, we should also sometimes see the bright side of things, right? First of all, Bitcoin is over a decade old. Let's say fairly new for the mission we have, which is like, see a world where everyone will be using, hyper Bitcoinization. And it's kind of a beautiful thing to see that it has been attacked so many times, like, and in all sorts of ways, and it keeps winning, right? And just to like remember, like the last 12 months, the SEC I mean, really, the events that happened the last 12 months were actually quite positive. I think people forget. I mean, we were expecting much worse, but like Bitcoin came out as kind of like the kind of like real asset class here. A lot of governments are following suit, like accepting that this is the future. Bitcoin will be. I think their strategy is like accepting Bitcoin, but at the same time, like as you mentioned, using their CBDCs. But it's anyways good news for us because it builds regulatory framework around Bitcoin. It will, if they think they will win with the stablecoin distribution, we'll let them be. At the end of the day, the asset class that accretes most value will win. So I think the developments the last 12 months were quite positive in my opinion. It purged out all the bad players. So it's happening, right? You just have to be patient. I think technology, you just have to be very patient with technology. It takes time. I would have been skeptical if Bitcoin would have been very successful in year 3. We have to first go through all the tests, like all the attacks. And let's not speak that probably every central intelligence unit in this world has tried to hack it. I'm pretty sure that there's been many attacks. So I think it's just happening, and we should also enjoy the process. And I think for the early guys, good news is there is a massive arbitrage, right? Whereby just keep buying because yeah, you're right. When you speak to the average person on the streets, they don't know what it is, which is good news for us. As soon as you're a baker or like anyone outside is talking about Bitcoin, that's maybe time maybe we should not buy too much because it might be kind of like going into an asset bubble again. But it seems like so early, and people don't understand it, and fairly so because it's so revolutionary.
100%. I 100. That was beautifully said. All right, guys, before we move on to news, I want to tell you about the largest Bitcoin conference on the face of the earth, Bitcoin 2024. It's coming up in Nashville, Tennessee, July 25th through the 27th, 2024. The year of the halving, the Bitcoin conference is going to be in Nashville. To get a GA ticket, it's $349. For an industry pass, it's $849, and for a whale pass, it's $4,749. You don't want to miss the biggest Bitcoin celebration of the year, Bitcoin 2024. And you can use the promo code SIMPLY to get an even bigger discount on your tickets to Bitcoin 2024. I hope to see you guys there. Of course, Opti and I are going to be there. Rustin and Dell are going to be there. It's going to be awesome. You don't want to miss this Bitcoin celebration. All right, everybody, let's get to the news.
The Daily News.
All right, guys, I want to give a shout out to the Orange Pill app, one of our sponsors. They are building the social layer for Bitcoin. The Bitcoin circular economy is coming, and this is where it starts with in real life connections. Find other Bitcoiners who live close to you, find plebs while you're traveling, or find nearby Bitcoin events. Plus, Orange Pill app recently enabled Zap, so you can zap your friends or zap events to help with the cost to organize your next Bitcoin meetup. There will be a time in the not too distant future where the most sought after demographic will be Bitcoiners, principled, devoted, patient, diverse, and loyal individuals who are the wealthiest single demographic. Scan the QR code on your screen right now, and when you sign up, you'll get 10,000 sats. Stack friends who stack sats. Download the Orange Pill app today. Anyways, everybody, let's get to the big news of today. Adam Back bet our boy Vikingo from representing Miami that Bitcoin was going to hit 100K by the halving. So let's get to the thread and let's explore some of the details. So Adam Back was quote tweeting an article by Cointelegraph. The name of the article, which we're going to read in a second, says Bitcoin miners need Bitcoin price over 98K by the halving. And he quote tweeted this. And he said, quote, miners need 98K or won't be break even after halving next year. If hash rate rises at 6.3% monthly, like January and July 2023, hash rate in April 2024 would be 633 exahashes. Current average fees 0.16 Bitcoin. So 3.285 Bitcoin blocks a 30. Oh my God, so many words. Anyways, so I guess he's correcting the break even of the article. But anyways, Hornado says 58K, you say, but I'm okay. And he tagged Dennis. The reason that oh my God, Adam Back's a bit of a troll. Says, but I'm okay with 100K, probably sooner than the halving April 2024 though, in my view. And then Vikingo says, want to bet? And then Soap Bitcoin says, sure, terms. Got many other plebs. I want to take Adam's sats. And then Adam said, okay. So 100K by 31st March 2024, midnight Zulo, or you win right. How many sats? Vikingo says $1 million sats. And Adam back says, okay, you're on. Someone remind us 31st March 2024, midnight GMT. I think that's absolutely hilarious. Shout out to Adam. Bit of a troll with the 58K. Also, interacting, engaging with the Bitcoin community. Vikingo's a well-known Bitcoin pleb. It's kind of doing his thing. And that's awesome. I hope Vikingo wins that bet. But at the same time, I like the Bitcoin price crabbing for a little bit because it gives everyone an opportunity to stack cheap sats. So obviously, Adam Back offered a correction to this article, but let's check out some of it. It says predictions that Bitcoin will see a six-figure price by the end of 2024 continue to surface despite the Bitcoin price losing the 30K level recently. For publicly listed Bitcoin miners in particular, a price north of 100,000 may be more of a necessity than a forecast if their business models are to remain profitable. Bitcoin mining stocks have been on a tear this year, outperforming Bitcoin by a margin in recent months. While Bitcoin has seen reduced volatility in a period of consolidation, Bitcoin mining company stocks have risen by nearly 100% in a matter of months. A recent report by Seeking Alpha explores Bitcoin mining by examining one popular miner in particular, Riot Platforms. It notes that despite Riot being expected to triple its mining capacity in 2024, the company and Bitcoin miners in general could face serious headwinds from the halving. A 50% decrease in Bitcoin block rewards cuts miners' main source of revenue in half. Miners like Riot can also issue new equity shares to fund their operation. This dilutes existing shares, meaning that even if the company's underlying fundamentals are sustained, the share price may not keep up. So here's Joe Consorti. And yeah, these miners are they're popping off. Riot is up 457% this year. Marathon is up 421% this year. This other mining stock 337%, and this other mining stock 246%. I don't know if that really represents fundamentals, to be honest. I think that they're just hyped because of the price of Bitcoin going up. That's my take. But anyways, it's just interesting. Interesting Adam's bet. I personally don't think we'll see 100K Bitcoin by the next halving, even with these miners in the situation they're in. A lot of people don't know, but they raised a tremendous amount of money last cycle. Okay. And they're still deploying that money. Which is why I think we haven't seen a hash rate correction this cycle. Anyways, that's my take. I just because, Wall Street has these expectations, I don't think that's going to make the price of Bitcoin go up. That's my take. I think Bitcoin's going to keep following its cycle of mooning 9 to 10 months after the halving. But I might be completely wrong here. This is why we don't speculate on Simply Bitcoin. And this is why we only advocate for dollar cost averaging. Stay humble, stack sats, and what Vikingo always says, stay solvent. Anyway, Shah, what's your take on this bet? Are you on the side of Adam Back, or are you on the side of Vikingo?
Definitely a much more reasonable bet than Balaji's a few months ago. So it's possible, who knows? Hard to say, but yeah, I would also say that I kind of agree with you. That's kind of unlikely to hit 100K. I just think right now the liquidity also in the market is quite low. And people don't have spare cash to, because it has to also be with the halving. You need to also see kind of a bull run. I don't know how steep that will be. Who knows? There might be also some external events. Who knows? Maybe Russia or Ukraine gets sorted out over, and then the market start booming. Hard to say, but let's say all external events staying equal, I think it's kind of a low chance. But let's see. I don't know. To be honest, it's really hard to predict the price. If I would, then I would be doing a different job.
Opti, what's your take on this? Are you on the side of Vikingo, or are you on the side of Adam Back? And I'm actually going to ask the chat too. I'm going to run a poll.
You know me, guys. I stay stupidly bullish, so I very much want to agree with Adam back here, but I don't know. I think my boy Vikingo is probably on the right side. But on that same vein, I'm gonna troll my boy Vikingo because I don't know. I'm going to go on the side that he's going to lose that million sats just so we can get stupidly bullish. And Vikingo, is this you not staying humble, stacking sats, and staying solvent, bro? Come on. No, I'm just joking. He's probably going to win a million sats. So he's staying even more solvent than he is. I see him. He's laughing in the Twitter spaces. But man, that would be crazy. Obviously, on the terms of the bet, 100K by April 2024. I'm okay with this. That's what, I don't know, 6 months, 8? No, 8 months. I don't know. I'm convinced we are in a bull run, or at least at the very beginning of a bull run. Yes, we might be going sideways a little bit, but hey, I would love to see 100K by April. Obviously, I'm kind of on the side of Vikingo. Shout out to my boy. He's probably going to win a million sats. But from Adam Back himself, too, which is just hilarious. You know, Adam Back just going full degen out there on Twitter. Love to see it. But the mining article, though, does feel a little bit like mining FUD, to be honest. And I believe that the halving cycle will play out as it has in the past. So yes, the block subsidy will get cut in half, but Bitcoin price will rise. And as all Bitcoin entrepreneurs know, you got to stay solvent and you have to think about this stuff as you move forward. Yes, if you're all in on Bitcoin, you might have to sell some Bitcoin. These are things that all Bitcoin entrepreneurs have to think about. But Riot's been handling their business very well the last couple of years, and I'm pretty sure they are going to stay solvent. I'm pretty sure they did their math and their accounting right. There's some pretty awesome Bitcoiners over there. They have a good setup. And so personally, I don't think there's much concern coming from Riot, but this is just part of the Bitcoin mining economics. And if these big miners do go down, then that's an opportunity for small miners to come in. Like, this is just part of the mechanics and the economics of Bitcoin. So, you know, on the one hand, shouts out to Vikingo and Adam Back for making the bet. And on the other hand, it feels like it might be a little fudding on the article and kind of like, you know, sowing some FUD out there for the people that don't really understand what's going on. But hey, this is all just part of the game out here. So it's going to be very interesting moving forward the next couple of months. What's actually happening? Are we actually out of the bear market? I've been convinced we are for a while, but we're probably in the crab market and we're going sideways. So again, you know, stay humble, stack sats, stay solvent. Shouts out to Vikingo. This is the time to keep your foot on the gas, continue to stack, continue to sell your chairs. Now, guys, pay your rent. Make sure you have groceries. You know, be smart here. But I think we're all going to be pleasantly happy moving into the historical 10 months after the halving, and we finally get a blow off top. It's been so long, Nico, and everyone's got PTSD, and we're all being conservative on the price.
How long has it been since 2017?
A long time. Too long.
Too long.
It's like 18 years in Bitcoin time. What's going on?
It's been like 18 years. That's right. All right, everybody. Also, guys, if you cannot find us on YouTube for whatever reason, the show does go on. So make sure to subscribe to us on Rumble. Make sure to check us out on Twitter. We stream every show on those platforms, and the audio only version, you could check us out on you know, your favorite podcasting platform. So also, by the way, shout out to our Rumble audience. We got 30 live viewers in there. That's awesome. So shout out to you guys. And of course, always shout out to our YouTube audience as well. We're at 86 likes. Help us maintain our streak of breaking 100 likes within the first hour of the live stream. So if you're enjoying the show on YouTube, make sure to smash that like button. Literally takes 2 seconds and it tells the YouTube algorithm to push the orange signal forward. Anyways, everybody, no more delay. Let's jump straight into the culture where we're going to talk about Noah. Let's check it out.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today. All right, guys, I also want to tell you about the largest Bitcoin festival on the West Coast, the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. It's October 5th through the 6th in Los Angeles, California. Speaker list includes Jimmy Song, Lynn Alden, Greg Foss, Alex Gladstein, Corey Clipson, Preston Pish, and many, many more. You want to get your tickets quickly before the prices go up, and you can take advantage of the promo code SIMPLY to get 21% off your tickets to the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. Anyways, Opti, what are we talking about today, brother?
Well, we got Shaw here from Noah. So we're talking about Noah.com. Of course, I like to give the floor to our audience so that they can talk about their stuff. So Shaw, again, you talked about in the beginning, but what is Noah.com? What is Noah? What are you trying to do over here? And let the people know about your project.
It's a global Bitcoin neobank with strong on and off ramps in pretty much every jurisdiction. We focus making Bitcoin buy and sell very easy. Have a very strong focus on sell. I think one of the areas we found that people are finding it challenging is actually getting their Bitcoin into real world, and that starts with off ramp. So right now the product is live with off ramp into any Visa and Mastercard. So that's kind of a very unique partnership with Visa and Mastercard Direct. And in the next few weeks, we will have off ramp in pretty much every currency from Nigeria, South Africa, Philippines, South America. We have pretty much, I think Brazil is going to go live in 4 weeks, Mexico, Colombia. So yeah, we have a global off ramp offering. What's also interesting though here is that you can not only off ramp to your own account, but also third party. So you can use Bitcoin to actually pay suppliers across the world. So that's what we kind of right now have in the roadmap the next few weeks.
So I have a question for you. With all the regulation in Europe and the United States being talked about as well, does that worry you a little bit, especially since you are an on and off ramp?
Yeah, we are regulated, so we have a European license, so which we are able to deal most of the times cross-border. So most countries we are able to operate cross-border. In the US, we're currently live in 8 states. Soon, in the next few months, we will get our MTLs to be live in pretty much every state except New York. Yeah, pretty much in every other jurisdiction, we are able to operate as long as we are cross-border, which means we are not doing any local marketing activities. When we pay out, we are using the licensing of our partners. For example, if it's like in South Africa or in Philippines, Indonesia. So yeah, so we are pretty much regulated. We think there is a lot of self-custodial wallets out there, which I encourage everyone to use. We are not playing in that game because I think it's a very saturated market. There's so many products out there, and we just want to make it so easy for the average person to get in and out that we just play a different game whereby we hopefully also bring a lot of new people into Bitcoin and help them to also get out if they need to. I think that's like where we want to play in.
So it looks like you're focusing on specific. It says deep liquidity in Africa. Is that what continent
Correct.
that you're focusing on specifically?
Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia, correct?
Gotcha. And then, so talk to me a little bit about Africa and especially Bitcoin adoption there.
Yeah.
What have you seen over there?
So Bitcoin right now in Africa, I think stablecoin, as you rightly said in the beginning of the talk, is obviously more popular. But we see a rise on Bitcoin adoption. It just has to do is very much paired with education. It takes time, as I mentioned. But Nigeria is one of the biggest countries after the US in terms of Bitcoin adoption. So we see it coming, and it's taking its time, but it's also paired with stablecoins, right? We see a lot of businesses that we serve that are looking to, we use basically Bitcoin as the ultimate Swift layer, whereby, they send us, let's say, South African rand. We convert to Bitcoin, send the Bitcoin to, let's say, Mexico, and off-ramp them into local currency. So basically, we see also early signs of Bitcoin being used as the ultimate Swift layer, because what has happened the last, let's say, 5 years is liquidity for Bitcoin is almost quite high in every jurisdiction. So like in any country you would go, you would find a high liquidity towards the local FX currency. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. So it's so accepted that most OTC exchanges, or like, let's say, most partners are happy to have Bitcoin on their books, right? So they consider it as a real asset. They consider it as a hedge towards dollar stablecoins. So therefore, you're able to on and off ramp on both sides using Bitcoin as kind of the payment layer very easily and cheaply. So yeah, does that answer your question? Feel free to like just shoot more questions if you have.
100%. Because I always say this to Opti like all the time, like in developing countries, that's really where I see the necessity for Bitcoin, right? It's really like it's not like the West where, even though the fiat system is a scam, even though it's still stealing from you, even though you're still losing purchasing power, it's not enough. People could still live with 5 to 10% inflation. Okay. Even though it's terrible, right? And we know there's long-term consequences to it. When you're dealing with 19% inflation, or as in the case of Argentina with 100% inflation, you cannot live on that money. It is impossible.
Yeah.
So people.
Well, let me quickly. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me just, because for me that's kind of like, I know sometimes I have to like take a couple of steps back. I'm originally also Iranian, so I know what goes on in countries with extremely high inflation. Iran is one of those. Is imagine like, the country is poor anyway. So right, so you're gonna have above minimum wage. So like, no, sorry, below minimum wage. So first of all, you work really hard. You probably have 2, 3 jobs, and the reason you're not poor is not because you're not working hard, is because all your savings goes into a currency that just loses value all the time, right? So you're basically always gonna lose out unless you're corrupt, right? So what happens is like you just have to close your eyes and imagine that, I don't know, you just work your like 3 shifts, have like barely slept for like years, and then you go to buy food for your kids, and it's just like everything is twice the price, and it changes every 2, 3 months, and then you change your eating habit, you eat more bread, or you don't have butter anymore because that's expensive, and that's like very common in most emerging markets, and it's tough, right? And I think now for the first time in human history, and I know we're all Bitcoiners here, but also even stable coins, they have access to asset classes, let's say Bitcoin being the prime, that are so much better than they ever had. Because what would they even get access to? Okay, they have the local currency, which is liquid, which is great, right? They might have access to the local stocks, but those stocks are as corrupt as the governments, right? So like it's like high saving stocks, like never probably going to give a return to the guys, and also most of them are financially not that literate and don't have that much savings anyways. So what they would normally do, the smart guys, is buy dollar in notes and put it under their pillow. But now they can have Bitcoin or stablecoin, and that is like, if you just take a few steps back, for the first time in human history, like billions of people have access to financial assets, basically asset classes that are at the same level as Western standards, right? So we all here agree that Bitcoin is probably the best, monetary asset class you can have, or whatever, money and asset class or savings instrument, and they have the same access. But that was never like that, right? Before, they could not buy gold, they could not buy stocks, they could not get access to the S&P 500. So they have never that access, and for the first time they have. And I think the only gap that they have is maybe the on and off ramps, the education, making it easier. But if we fix that, then the word will spread very quickly, and soon everyone will realize that the best way to put their work into savings is Bitcoin, and that's it.
100%. I that was so beautifully said, man. And the way that you described it, I 100% agree. For the first time, they have an alternative. Right. And so you said you're from Iran. I'm from Venezuela. So like,
Yeah, we're similar countries.
It's originally from Venezuela. So I understand when you say that, and Bitcoin does provide this hope. Now, the reality is, though, that most people are using stablecoins at the moment, right? In these countries, they aren't using Bitcoin. I suspect that's the case for now. I suspect that will change in the future. I think stable coins are going to be a major. I think regulators and governments definitely have them in their crosshairs. They want to be the stable coins. They want to do that with CBDCs. I think they will be a little bit more successful because of just they're centralized, right? They're inherently centralized.
But also they have a brand, right?
Yeah.
They like Bitcoin's brand will take time, and it's not like they have a marketing budget, right?
Exactly.
And like dollar or not, it has a brand. Like it's been in every historical book, dollars. Like the barrel is in dollar. Every language is dollar. But over time, Bitcoin will get there as well. It's just like we have to just admit, and we can't force adoption. We have to admit that there's a transitionary period that we will have to get first, and then over time, Bitcoin is, and the fact that stablecoin gets there is getting prioritized is a good news because it's the crypto rails, right? Converting from stablecoin to Bitcoin is the easiest thing ever, right? So if they can access a stablecoin, I'm fine with it because I know they can get into Bitcoin faster than ever, right? And there's so many ways to get to Bitcoin with stablecoins, but it's hard to get with their local cash, right? So it's much harder, right? So sorry, that's I think that's, and once they understand why stablecoins work, they will also understand why Bitcoin works. I think it's kind of a step, but we will use right now the stablecoin or dollar brand as the tailwind, and then eventually Bitcoin will win, and it is winning, as I said earlier. Like it just takes time. Just have to be patient. It just can't happen overnight. I know we all hold Bitcoin and we all want it to go up, but the fact is, these kind of structural changes, they just take time, and you can't accept it to happen. And also trust in Bitcoin takes time as well. Like it has to be there for 20, 30, 40 years, proving itself every day. Getting a mine should be blocked every 10 minutes. Should happen, and after some time, everyone will trust and say, "Oh, I trust this asset class. It's been around for 30 years, and if it would have been hacked or banned, it would have been 20 years ago maybe, but now it's still around." So I think it just takes time.
100%. I agree with you and it's actually, you're not the first person who I've heard say this. I heard the CEO of Start9, Matt Hill, and he said, yes, this is going to be a multi-generational thing. And I tend to agree with him. I do believe that this is going to take some time, and it really falls to us content creators to push it forward. Opti, what's your take on this? And we'll get to the meme review.
Well, love to hear it. I'm just gonna ask Shaw, a simple question. Where can people find Noah?
So right now you can download our Android app, as well as we have prioritized the web wallet. So basically you can go to app.noah.com and you can get it anywhere. So that's why we're not really subject to iOS restrictions. We will soon launch our iOS app in a few weeks. But the good news is that you can get it as a PWA pretty much everywhere. So yeah, also on your desktop, quite optimized for desktop access. So you can just go to app.noah.com, or just go to the website noah.com and then click on the PWA button and you will access it.
Love it. Well, more power to you.
Absolutely.
The Bitcoin entrepreneur.
Hell yeah.
This is what we need. This is why we feature people like you that are building and trying to spread the Bitcoin signal.
Thank you.
Because people still don't know that Bitcoin is the solution. So we do our best to try to spread it on YouTube, and then you do your best, try to spread it into people's hands so that they hold Bitcoin. This is what it's all about.
Amen to that. All right, everybody, let's get to the meme review. Let's do it.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Kaboomracks. I get this question all the time. Nico, where should I buy Bitcoin miners? The answer is Kaboomracks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to find the best deals and the best prices. Start your mining utopia today. To check out their racks, you got to go to t.me/Kaboomracks. Join their Telegram group and start your mining journey today. Kaboomracks.
Kaboomracks. All right, guys, you already know the deal. This is the meme review where you guys send us memes on Twitter at simplybitcointv. Tag me. You can tag me on my personal account, Optimus Fields on Twitter, and I will drop them in our show notes. I can't get to them all, but I want to have the problem of you guys sending me too many memes, not enough memes. So let's have you guys tag me on Twitter. You can also drop them in our Telegram group, t.me/simplybitcoin. But again, guys, I need the tweet so that I can give them credit. You guys are dropping just the meme in there all the time, and I love it. We got crazy memes in our Telegram group, but I need the tweet so I can give people credit. All right, anyways, you already know the deal. Tweets are the bullets, memes are the artillery. As you can tell, we are in an information war, and they are flooding you with noise and nonsense. So do your part by spreading the Bitcoin signal, getting the calls of action out there, and getting Bitcoin in people's hands. This is the most important thing. And then, of course, ridiculing the corporate press because that gives us dopamine, and making some funnies for your friend. This is all part of it. This is all part of the memetic war that we find ourselves in. Anyways, first meme is by Bitcoin Canadian, aka @Cana1_Canadian. He goes, "My progress so far as a newbie Bitcoiner." And I absolutely love this because I'm not a newbie Bitcoiner, and I still end up at the same place. Okay, so first it goes Bitcoin. We got a Chad Bitcoiner goes, "Michael Saylor, the best store of value." And then we got a Chad Bitcoiner, it's Jason Lowry, "the best projection of energy." And then we got me at the bottom, and I'm going to say me as in me as well. "The best cool words and numbers on this digital thingy I can change back into dollars someday, maybe." I just go orange coin good. Paper money bad. This is my meme too. Left side of the bell curve, Bitcoiners winning. Okay, and we are doubling down on the Chad memes today, and we got the Bitcoin therapist, aka @the BTC therapist on Twitter, and he goes, "Bitcoin is always on sale." And we got a Chad Bitcoiner, and it's showing the price, and it's it's kind of pumping, but it's kind of going down. It goes, "Stay humble and stack sats," and he's got 1 Bitcoin. And then at the very end of a bear market, it looks like Bitcoin has lost 75% of its value, or whatever the last bear market was. And what's he do? He stays humble and he stacks sats, and now he's got 2 Bitcoin. And then the price keeps going up again, and maybe it's dipping a little bit, and he stayed humble and stacked sats and stay solvent, and now he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bitcoin. This guy's a Chad out here. Okay, this next one is by Maxie's Club, and it goes 479 Bitlosophy, and it goes, "No one is more hated than he who speaks about Bitcoin." Not the truth, but about Bitcoin, attributed to Plato. But I don't know if he actually said that. He definitely would have been a Bitcoiner. Okay, this next meme is by Alina Siche, and she goes, "Simply love language." And we got a Bitcoin logo here, or the Bitcoin network, and it goes, "Do you trust me?" And it's got hearts, and it's in love. And the savage Bitcoiner out there goes, "Nope." And the Bitcoin logo goes, "Great." And you can see here, he's running a full node. Do not trust. Verify for yourself. Run the Bitcoin software for yourself. Do not trust the middlemen with your transactions, because they will abuse that trust. Run a node, guys. It's very simple. Run a node. Okay, this next meme is by Wojak Bitcoin.
Big fan. Star9. That's what I use personally. You guys could
Hey. We'll tell you about the BTC Pay server soon, guys. But you guys are going to be hyped.
Are we dropping
You're going to be
that?
hyped on
Are
this
we dropping
one.
that?
No. Maybe at the end of the show. We're not ready yet. But we can tease them a little bit. Okay. This next meme is by @Wojak Bitcoin, and it goes,
"There is no second best."
Okay, and we got a king here. Looks like, I don't know, Chad Caesar or something here. And he goes, "How I woke up knowing that all shitcoins are centralized scams and that there is no second best."
What's the second best? There is no second best.
This is how we are every single morning. We just wake up, feel good. It's like, man, it feels so good having the best money in the world. Yes, it is on sale right now. Yes, it's crab marketing, but opportunity for you guys to stack. And this next one is by Pete_Rizzo_. And sometimes we just got to bring the quotes to make our points for us. And he goes, "Satoshi Nakamoto on Bitcoin at 6 cents, exactly 13 years ago. On August 7th, I don't know what 13 years ago is. What's that? 2014? And it goes, no, 2016, I think. I don't know. Math is hard. Anyways, he goes, "The utility of the exchanges made possible by Bitcoin will far exceed the cost of the electricity used. Therefore, not having Bitcoin would be the net waste." Let's go. You might want to get some just in case it catches on, boys and girls, because it's going up forever, Laura. Okay, my meme review score is, I legitimately forgot to get a meme review score today, Nico. 1 second.
All right, I'll go first. I'm going to give it I got it in the mail. You can get yours at worldofrusty.com, or you can go on Geyser.
Oh, you got yours.
I'm going to give it a yellow. That's right. A real life yellow It's got a
Wait,
little.
is it green? Wait, it's looking like it's
got a
green.
little,
Wow,
little
fake
Bitcoin
news.
patch in the back. But yes, I'm gonna give it a yellow. In real life,
Yellow is actually green.
That's what I'm gonna give my meme score. That's gonna be my score. Anyways, Opti, what's your score? You can get it at worldofrusty.com, by the way, in case you guys want your own yellow.
Yes, remember I got the Declaration of Monetary Independence. Well, shouts out to our boy
Ulrich.
Extemos. Yeah, Ulrich gave it to me, but shouts out to our boy Extemos. This is his card for BNT printing. That's who printed it. Shouts out to you, bro. We still need the coffee cups, bro. I need to talk to you. We'll talk about this.
All right. Shah, what would you give those memes?
What do we have? Like, so yellow, green, or what's
And you can give it any object that's on your desk, or any color, any number, anything that you could think of.
It's hard. Well, I think 8.
Okay.
But we'd love to see next time like some memes on like there's a lot of Noah Ark memes and like a lot of Flood is coming memes.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind. We'll get it. We'll get you.
Where the dam breaks and like
yeah,
starts kicking in.
Yes,
I like that. Okay. All right. Number 8. That's a solid score. All right. Let's read some of the scores from the audience.
Wait, Nico. We got an intro. Do we have the meme music yet,
No.
or do we have to get Daff? Daff, get on the mission.
Daff, we need some meme music. All right. We got some meme scores already in here. We got a bunch today.
I got one.
All right. First one by Narwhal Tacos. He says, "My signed copy of the Little Hodler. Heart. Lena. Heart.
Nice.
Very good score, Narwhal. Rave Elevator. I score the memes. Lizzo's concert fruit buffet. Okay, very nice. Elaine.
You nasty.
Simply Chasters invade El Salvador halving party. April 2024. Okay, good score. Tom Red Eye. I give those math 20101. Okay, very nice. Phil C. I give the memes a 1 million sat win for Adam Back. Oof.
Oh, okay. 100K by Halving.
Skip down the road. Latte $200. Hot latte 2,000. Full body latte 50,000. Okay.
I don't get it, but
UTXO. My meme score is pi squared. Okay, very nice.
Okay, maths.
Lochi. I give the memes the cost of centralized online platforms trending to 0. Okay, that's a good one.
Okay.
I like that. Hodl Coin. I give the memes a Bitcoin. All right, last 2 more, and then Planet Earth. I give the memes fire quote from Safe. It's not an option. You will either move there or you will watch your wealth lose its value. And the last one by I'm Still Learning, Salt of the Earth People, my score. Okay, thumbs up. I like it. The buzzer. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching Simply Bitcoin Live. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value, and share Bitcoin content. I also want to give a shout out to our very special guest, Shah. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Check out noah.com to check out his project, his company, and pushing Bitcoin and helping onboard people. So shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for joining us on Simply Bitcoin.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the show, I already said it, smash that like button. But check us out on alternative video platforms like Rumble. You could check us out on Twitter. And you can check us out on your favorite podcasting platform. So in case for whatever reason you don't see us on YouTube, you can find us there. So make sure to subscribe to our channel, Rumble. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. You'll see all of our content there. And yeah, guys, we love you. Couldn't be here without you. And we appreciate you guys tuning in. Smash that like button once again. And if you guys want to join the after party, Opti's holding it down until 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to be holding it down on Twitter Spaces with our friends over at Swan Bitcoin, best place to build your Bitcoin stack. Also, shout out to the best producer in the game, producer Jacob. And we're going to just be doing a live hangout on Twitter Spaces and talking Bitcoin, talking about what happened in the news. And hopefully Vikingo has a celebrity appearance now that he's famous and gets on stage, and we'll kind of get his thoughts onto what his, how he's feeling about the bet and stuff. But anyways, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, peace out. Love y'all.
already know the deal. This is the Simply Bitcoin Spaces where you guys come up. You are a part of the show. We want to hear your guys' takes. This is not about me being on my soapbox. This is about having a conversation with Bitcoiners and opening up to the community. We are still early, or rather late in the bear market. So I'm sure at a certain point, this will turn into a place where people